Again, welcome you all for the Python bootcamp session. The intention of this bootcamp session is to uh, start and also build a particular product or a site so that will be useful for you. Instead of going just only with the theoretical concepts, we just want to build a product so that you can directly use it for your interview purposes, as well as to put the knowledge to work. And in other words, maybe a different applications which you will be using at the work, but at the end of the day, it is going to be the similar concepts which you will be learning, which you will be trying to put it into the practice at work. So with my experience working in different corporations as well as in different industries, I can tell that, okay, whatever you learn in a little bit here and there changes, but you will be able to apply the same. And we are trying to make it to the root level and also to start with that and then try to show that how these things can be applied. And some of the sessions will even have the troubleshooting processes also in the system, so that we try to learn it and also try to apply that particular logic into the real world environment. So that will be useful for that. So let me just start sharing the PowerPoint, which is already shared. Okay. And we start from there with a PowerPoint presentation. And also we will show you where exactly we have the information related to our course content also. So as we were showing yesterday, so and also the day before, it is a full stack bootcamp, the PowerPoint presentation which was showing. I know some of you guys might not have joined, maybe because of weekend and some other activities will be there. It's totally understandable. So this is the highlight which you are going to have. We will be having the database of interview questions, and you will be given access to the Google Drive. So all this information will be available and everything will be given to you. The access will be given to you for this Google Drive also. So similarly, like we are going to have a blog for our Q&A before the end of this session. I'll show you our website, the company website, where you can see the blogs. That website is going to be live in a week's time. Okay, so we are just trying to make some final touches for the website. So that is already in the process. And we are going to have mock interviews and a couple of complimentary sessions also during this process by the QA analyst, so that will be useful for your uh, unit testing and also like whatever the testing also, if at all you are interested to go for other activities also. That also a couple of uh, complimentary sessions we are going to have, who is a real-time uh, analyst, okay, QA manager, who is actually working with the budgetary as well as with he's account manager kind of stuff. Okay, if you just look at that perspective, we are going to have the meetings conducted by them. We'll announce in advance the date and all, just to let you know. But during this process, we are going to have the sessions, some of those sessions like that also. And also, as and when we are going to have a particular topic, we will be covering more from other experts also. Okay, so small sessions will be covered so that you can learn something out of it, exactly how it is going to be looked into. And when it comes to the mock interviews also, we will be having 2 to 3 mock interviews by different team members who are really working. Really, when I say it is who are actually working in different fields. So we will be bringing them, and also we will be having some mock interviews, at least for 20 to 30 minutes. Mock interviews will be covered by them. So this is the whole entire process we are going to have. We have the team that is actually working on that. Okay. So we will be coming up with more and more details as we progress into the second week onwards. So here it is, I think already I shown this because it's about our trainer Sridhar. He's having decent experience. Okay. So even though it is listed as 20 years, it's a little bit more also. He trained and also he did the training for corporate world as well as into different product also he developed, and also he supports other applications. And also, what are the topics we are going to have? It is HTML, CSS, okay, Bootstrap. So all these are the topics which we are going to cover. And because it is a boot camp, we just mentioned that, okay, if time permits, you can just go through the basics of these in our YouTube channel. But at the same time, it's okay. So sometimes we have other priorities and things will be changing. Okay. So we can just try to cover some basics. So those who are having full experience with these concepts already, please bear with us for 1 or 2 sessions. It is not that too many sessions will be there for that. And we'll be directing you to our YouTube channel to uh, learn, okay, practice those things, okay. So it is like a on-the-job training kind of stuff also will be there, but we strongly recommend you to go through the site and also to go through different channels with different videos that are available in our uh, channel. So that is, we are going to have it. And at the same time, we do have the content for the remaining topics also. We encourage you to go through, but at the same time, the things will be covered. But as I mentioned, okay, I repeat again, as I mentioned, okay, those who are already having uh, working experience with those, please bear with us so that we can try to bring everyone onto the same pace to some extent. Okay, to be honest, okay, to some extent, we try to bring everyone onto the same pace. So these are the things which are going to have, as we mentioned. Okay, so we have all this information here, and also it is available in our YouTube channel. Okay, so all these topics are already covered in our uh, YouTube channel, which you can see here. Okay, so we have all this, and we encourage you, and also we suggest you to subscribe to the channel, and also to keep watching those. Like if you look at the playlists also, I think here, even if you just see the front end UI, user interface, which covers the HTML, CSS. Okay, so it is like a user interface. What I suggest personally is just to go through that. You just let it play, and then you can try to get something out of it. Okay. And a couple of times, once you go through, you'll get to know the topics as you're trying to cover, as we're trying to listen in the session also. So that's what I'm also doing, to be honest. Okay. So some of the sessions. So it is that will be useful for that particular purpose. Like Python also, we have decent number of this one. Videos are already available. So I encourage you to go through these and also try to get this. I will be posting the link again for the YouTube. So here it is a YouTube channel which you have. Okay, so we can just try to go through that and then try to get something. We can try to go through these particular channels. Okay, so which I mentioned here. So you can just subscribe to that so that we are coming up with more and more videos as the days goes by. So we are going to have all those videos, and you will be getting notification directly, okay, from those videos also. And at any time, we can just try to visit this, and we will be able to view the videos for that purpose. So these are the things which we want to cover. And so here it is, like these are the different parts which are going to have. And at the end of this, so which we are mentioned calling it as a talent acquisition project, it is just a name which we started with that. And also we can always come up with a new name during the process. Okay. So this particular process, and once the whole aim or the whole aim is going to be to make this project live. And also once whatever you make it, so the same thing will be there in that. Okay. And you can use this particular project in the resumes, and we always support you for that reference part also. Okay, ours is a LLC, registered LLC based out of Pennsylvania in USA. Okay, so that is, we can always refer, we can always give you can give the reference, and we always support you for that particular purpose. Technically, you are already working on that. So we don't have any problem to mention that, okay, you already worked on that, say that. So this is all which we have. Okay, so what is that we are going to cover here? So this is some of these already listed. Okay, so which I already shared in the group. Okay, if anyone wants this, I can again share it again. It should not be a problem for us. Okay, what are the advantages we are going to have? Okay, so these are some of the things which we will be having in the whole entire process. Okay, so this is a screenshot proposed project, okay, which we listed a couple of these screenshots. Okay, this is again, it is when we say this, these are the proposed screenshots, as the name itself says, proposed. So it is, you may be making a little bit of changes here, but that's fine. Okay, we are going to, we can just try to always get this, get these pages, okay, in the best possible way, or best way which you're learning, and also which you think, okay, more innovative way also, which you can use a better word. So you can try to do that during the course of the process. And for us, so any questions or anything, once in a couple of days, we are going to have the new link that will be created for the WhatsApp link, and you can always share the questions. Okay, if at all anything is there, so any questions are there, you can always share it in that group, and you will be getting a response from one of your team members or from the trainer itself. Okay, you will be getting those responses. Okay, also we will be having, once our site is up, you should be able to submit your questions directly through the site, so that whatever the questions which you have, so those questions will be coming up under the blog section. Okay, so these are some of the details which you are going to have. Okay, again I repeat. Okay, so as I mentioned, please bear with us for a couple of 1 or 2 days. It is not that we are going to repeat everything, but yeah, just to set the tone so that everyone will be on the same lines. Okay, it is not that totally basics will be covered, but at the same time, not totally to the advanced level, but we just try to see that gauge, and also try to get to the stage where we can have everyone on the same page, and they should be able to get through this. Okay, any questions? You please let me know before I hand over this to my trainer. By the way, I think I forgot, my name is Sitaram. Okay, so, okay, I think the trainer can start this. Okay, so he can start uh, with the session now. I'm stopping my presentation. Yeah, Sridhar, I think you can take it from here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Okay. So as Sitaram explained, today we cover few basics. These are very important. Probably you know, some of you might be knowing about it, but still everyone has to know about those things. Because of that, we cover few basics related to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, all these are actually complete, like we don't use any frameworks, simple HTML, JavaScript, as well as CSS. Like we are not going to be using in this particular today's session any bootstrap kind of thing. Okay, and we don't use any JavaScript frameworks in this session, I'm saying. So just core, everything is core HTML, core CSS, and core like JavaScript, because these are important. Based on this only, further frameworks are created. Okay, and one more thing, you have to create an account with the Python Anywhere. Okay, just create yourself account with that. Then you can be, whatever pages you create, you can move into Python Anywhere. Then you can see how it is working in the, in the internet. Instead of working locally, you can move into Python Anywhere. There you can host it. Okay, so once you host there, what happens exactly is you can see from your mobile phone and from your laptop or from your desktop. So in that case, you feel actually satisfied with that. Whatever you created, you are going to see like a web application which is hosted somewhere. To have that feeling, so create an account with the pythonanywhere.com. Then you can put your whatever you do, you can put into those things. So before I go, I just show you once again. Okay, so before that, once again, I show you, this is basically Python Anywhere. Okay, so you may have your site in that, like you have your my site, something like this. In this my site, you have to create static as well as templates. In the static, you can put CSS and JavaScript. And in the templates folder, you can put the HTML pages. In this manner, we need to organize. Don't bother about actually now Flask application. Don't bother much about that. Just you can create a static folder and templates folder. In that you can put it. Okay, then you can see from the from browser, you can be viewing them. Okay, so an account with the Python Anywhere is required. You need to create, this is a free account, you can create with this, and whatever content you create, you can put into Python Anywhere. Okay, in that case, you don't have your domain name. Instead, you'll be having something like, in this manner, you can access. Okay, so I can specify like this, whatever username you keep, with that username, it starts its subdomain within the pythonanywhere.com. So now this is going to be coming up, and this must be HTTPS. It's not simple HTTP, it's a secure kind of thing. So you can see using your name followed by its subdomain of the pythonanywhere.com, which is a free version. Some up to 3 or 4 months you can use it. Later on, if you pay some $4, you can host whatever products, whatever you created. Okay, so that you can host in that. So others can actually see what work you have done. And they give you for free version MySQL. And if you go with some $4 version, they are going to give you like PostgreSQL. So whatever work you create, try to put in this. So it's a good practice, and you can see what you have done, how it is getting rendered on different devices. Okay, so this is related to, this is related to BootCamp for web applications, for developing web applications. Okay, and this is called as full stack. So it is nothing but full stack. So full stack constitutes in this front end, okay, plus back end, it's coding, back end coding, plus database. Roughly, you can think it as a 3-tier architecture. The first tier is front end, back end is actually second tier, and third tier is going to be database. Okay, so you make a request from front end to back end is going to be serving you what you request. So this follows actually HTTP protocol or HTTPS protocol. Okay, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTPS stands for Secured Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So with the help of that, you can access resources which are actually hosted in the remote server. Okay, hosted with the remote server. A remote server is physically hosted on some computer that has an IP address. Remembering an IP address is very difficult. That's why what we have domain names. Okay, with the help of domain name, we are accessing. Basically, it's nothing but some IP address. Okay, all they are nothing but IP addresses. With IP address, definitely you cannot access. You cannot remember IP address, and it's not good practice also using straight away IP addresses. Instead of that, we use actually some domain name. With the help of domain name, we actually access the resources. Whatever publicly available resources, you can access them. So whenever you make a request, whatever you requested, it's going to serve you. So if it has to fetch from database, it's going to be getting connected to database. From there, it can fetch. Okay. So here in this case, you have 3 things: front end, back end, and database. Front end basically HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, so they can be getting rendered in the browser normally. Okay, the browser can be, it may be small screen, it may be medium screen, it may be large screen, it may be extra large screen. Okay, on all the devices that must be getting rendered. When you make your web pages, to make getting rendered on different types of devices, that is called as responsive design. Okay, so that's called as actually responsive design. Apart from this, you can create mobile applications that also can fetch data from the backend data. Here backend application. So normally for that we need to define, we need to develop APIs, web APIs. Okay, your web application may be having the UI and the backend coding, that is with web API or something like MVC, model view controller architecture, or it may be simply a web forms kind of thing you have depending on the technology you have chosen. So these terms are applicable. Okay, so your web application may be having HTML pages as well as server-side code, or simply it may have server-side code that is called as API. So that is going to be serving you simply data, or you can pull data from that, or you can push data into that. You can perform different types of actually operations related to web, like CRUD operations, create, read, then update and delete, all the things you can do. Okay, but when you make a web API, you can access same kind of data on different types of devices. Normally, if you create a web page, if you have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so in such cases, you have to render that only in the browser. Render meaning is nothing but showing. Okay, so you are going to render or you are going to show only in the web browser. But when you make actually a mobile app, so without having browser, you can render. Or you may create a desktop application that can be connecting to web API. From there also you can perform various CRUD operations. Okay, but our focus in this is going to be two things. One is browser based. Second thing is mobile app based. These two different things we are going to do. Further, we have chosen here React.js. Okay, React.js is a JavaScript framework. It's not framework actually, library. It is JavaScript library. Either by using JavaScript or by using TypeScript, we can develop React applications. Okay, you may choose either TypeScript or JSX. Ultimately, they have to be getting compiled or transpiled into like JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Two words we use with actually computer applications. One is compiler. Okay, one more thing is interpreter. Compiler and interpreter, almost same they are. But whenever we talk about transpiler, that can convert one language into another language. You write some code in the TypeScript. TypeScript is nothing but superset of JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is very loosely typed language, whereas TypeScript is strongly typed language. Okay, so type safety is very, very important these days in the applications. JavaScript is actually dynamically typed language, very loosely typed language, whereas TypeScript is actually strongly typed language, and it supports varying types of data when compared with the JavaScript. But using transpilers, what we do, we can convert TypeScript code into, again, HTML and CSS. That only can be understood by the browsers. Browsers understand only HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, you may be using Bootstrap, or you may be using Tailwind, or you may be using Flutter kind of thing. You may use any CSS related tools. With the help of that, you may define good looking, websites. But ultimately, whenever you transpile that into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then only they can be getting rendered in the web browser. Otherwise, they cannot be getting rendered. Similarly, when you develop mobile applications using React Native, you develop applications both for iOS and for the Android. You know, they are different. As you know, they are actually different platforms. iOS is from the Apple, and Android is with the, basically with Android machines we use. To develop native Android applications, we require Java, Kotlin. With the help of that, we do it. And to develop, iOS applications, we require Xcode. Okay, so similarly, we need to know about the Objective-C, which is nothing but object-oriented C++. C++ is object-oriented. So Objective-C is nothing but object-oriented C++ language. With the help of that, we can develop native applications for the iOS. And using Android and the like Kotlin, you develop applications native for the Android platform. Okay, but to develop actually two different applications for two different types of platforms, you can use React.js, React Native. With the help of that, you can develop. So we are going to cover for these two things. One is for web, other one is for actually, device-based applications. Okay, these applications even they can run in the tablets. Okay, whenever you develop a web application, normally what happens, you have varying screen sizes. Like say very small or extra small. Okay, you have small device, you have medium device, we have large and extra large. Okay, so these are going to be called as breakpoints as far as Bootstrap is concerned. Extra small you have, medium you have, large we have, extra large we have. These are different types of screens available. So when you create a web application, if you are using browser, same pages must be getting rendered on different types of devices. Okay, so if you design applications like that, that is called as here responsive design. Okay, so responsive design that we call as actually responsive design. Okay, so you need to create a responsive design. Then in that case, your applications can be used in different types of devices. Browser-based, I'm saying. In the case of mobile app, that's not required. Straight away, mobile app can be getting rendered depending on the device again. Okay, to develop mobile apps, we use here React Native. Our focus is going to be on the React Native, and we are going to develop here micro front-end applications. Normally, I mean, these days still, we are using actually monorepo kind of thing. In the same application, we keep all the features. Okay, so for example, you take Django. A Django project constitutes actually multiple apps. In the same manner, when you go with the micro front-end, you can divide that into a number of applications. And those applications need not be only with one particular type of technology. One application can be with Android, one can be with the Vue.js, and one can be with the React.js. Like that you can develop. So our focus is going to be on the micro front-end applications. And for the styles, we are going to use Bootstrap. Okay. And application we developed using React.js. So React.js is nothing but JavaScript library. So with the help of that, we develop our application. And most of these are going to be SPS. SPS stands for single page application. Some of these terms you don't know, please note down them. Later on, you can do further research on that. You can find more and more information. So these days, tons of information is available in the internet. Theoretically, you may be knowing, but here our intention is to make you proficient with practicals. 100% practicals we want to give here. Okay, otherwise, a lot of information is available in the internet. So we try to use those concepts and make actually real products in this or real applications which can be running in the browsers as well as in the mobile devices. Okay, so very first thing in this, these are all basics. If already you know them, some of you may feel boring this is. Okay, with that, don't judge us. We only just cover basics. Don't judge in that manner because everyone has to know the basics. That's why we are trying to cover basics. And one more thing, if you know basics, advanced concepts are going to be very simple. Okay, whatever type of thing you take, if you're good in the basics, then you can do wonders with the advanced concepts. So now very first thing in this is going to be HTML, then CSS and JavaScript. So these basics I'm going to cover in today's session. So first of all, HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. Okay, HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. It is basically domain specific language. It is not a general purpose language. Take example C, C++, Python, Java. They are general purpose programming languages. For any kind of application, you can use them. But HTML is basically domain specific language only to render content in the web browsers we use. Okay, to render content in the web browsers we use. So browsers, they understand HTML. Whenever they receive the HTML content, HTML is going to be pure text file. So whenever it receives the text file, it is going to be rendering that in the browser. And you have different types of browsers and you have different types of rendering engines in them. Okay, for example, you take Explorer or Internet Explorer, I'm saying. One more thing is here Edge. They use here Trident engine. Okay, they use Trident engine. With the help of that, they render actually web pages. rendering is not that simple. Okay, so behind it, there is so many things actually happen, but we all they are abstracted, but at very high level we are working. Even if you take any programming language, it's not that simple actually. There is lot many things happen behind the scene, but we work with the very high level. At the very high level, we are working. Okay, so internally, what is happening without knowing also, things are happening. Okay, you write some piece of code in a high level language. So it is going to take care of all internals. In the same manner here, rendering engines are going to be responsible for rendering actually the content in the web browser. So web browsers must be having all these features in them. So there must be parsing engine, there must be rendering engine in that. Similarly, there should be some JavaScript interpreter. Okay, there must be style parsers. All the things must be part of the browsers. Whether you take Chrome or Explorer or Edge or Mozilla Firefox or Opera or Safari. So all of them are having all these features. Okay. So and today's, I mean, in these days actually, mostly we use HTML5 version. Okay, most of the applications, today's applications are HTML5 based. Since 1995, we have around 5 versions with the HTML. Very first version came in 1995, that was HTML 1.0, then 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0 now. Okay, the features of 5.0, which we don't have in the HTML4 are, first of all, local storage concept. That means within the browser, you can save data. Normally, when you look at a web page or web browser, they run in a sandbox. That means they never allow the local resources. Suppose you have a file, a text file from HTML browser, we can't touch that file. Okay. So it is actually that may, I mean, provide some problems with security. So that's why browsers normally don't allow accessing of the local resources. Okay. I mean, now to overcome that problem, sometimes your browser may be requiring a lot of data. Time being, you have to save somewhere. For that purpose, we use a concept called local storage and session storage. So these are available with the HTML5. Similarly, location tracking. Okay. So location tracking, you have your location can be tracked with the help of the HTML5. Similarly, inbuilt audio and video. Okay, inbuilt audio and video you have in this. And apart from this, you have a concept called canvas. Okay, so with the help of this, you can develop games or you can create beautiful graphics with the help of the canvas. Okay, so for that, I show you how the graphics. Okay, so you have actually canvas. Using canvas, you can create actually graphics. You can even create the games. HTML5 games are created with the help of the canvas. Okay, so I mean, these features are extra in the HTML5. They further enhance the capabilities of the browser. Okay, your HTML pages now can render different types of content, more content with more features. So these are extra features we find in the HTML5 version when compared with the HTML4. So inbuilt audio feature, inbuilt video feature, location tracking mechanism, local storage, session storage, as well as canvas. All these are available. HTML5 pages now are going to be treated like actually applications. Earlier, I mean, if you look at HTML4, browsers, if they can't understand some tag, they used to ignore. But in the case of HTML5, probably they don't ignore sometimes. They don't render, they show it as error. Okay. And while viewing a web page, you can use even the developer tools. With the help of that, what is happening, you can find. Something like debugging, you can do in this with the help of the developer tools. And for developing these things, you can use Visual Studio Code. Okay. So Visual Studio Code is a versatile IDE With the help of that, you can design HTML pages, you can develop JavaScript code kind of thing, you can develop Go language applications, you can develop Python applications. So whatever kind of thing you want to develop, you can develop with the help of the Visual Studio Code. So it has inbuilt intelligence feature. With the help of that, it can show you, what are the methods available with a particular object. Okay, when to indent, in the case of Python particularly. Similarly, like styling kind of things, all it can show you within the Visual Studio Code. It is actually having intelligence. It can help you. Developers can get help from the, this IDEs. IDEs like Visual Studio Code, it has intelligence. So with the help of that, what to write next also, it can suggest based on that your productivity can increase. Without using Visual Studio Code also, you can write code, you can create things, but they are going to be time consuming. Your productivity is going to suffer. When you use IDs kind of thing, actually, your productivity can improve like anything. So for this purpose, you need to download Visual Studio Code latest version, which is absolutely free. This is from the Microsoft. Okay, you need to download Visual Studio Code, and with the help of that, you need to do it. Now let us start actually some sample application with the HTML5. Okay, so in this, we are going to explore, first of all, a meta tag. Okay, then similarly, we go with some body, header part, body part, and few things we create. So let us start actually doing with the HTML. Now let me launch here Visual Studio first. Okay, so here in this case, I go with a I just want to close whatever are available in this. So just I go with the new file, or else I'm in a particular folder. I can come into this. Then from here, I can create a new file. I want to put this as here first.html. I would like to create a file, something like first.html. And very first thing is here, you need to go with a doc type declaration. Okay, doc type declaration. So this makes this document as actually HTML5 document. It is compatible with the HTML5. So this is called as header. So we are keeping this header here. And this you can think is even it is a directive. So with this, you are marking this particular document as a HTML document. Then after that, you have to go with the HTML tag. Okay, it is nothing but HTML tag. Inside that, now you can go with the HTML page. Every HTML page has two parts. One is actually head, other one is body. Head contains actually metadata information, and body contains actually actual content. Okay, like this we have. There are two parts in this. One is header part, other one is body part. In the head part, we have actually metadata. Metadata means what? Data about data. You can define styles here. You can define JavaScript here. You can go with the meta tags kind of thing in this part. Okay, so this is going to be here a HTML document. So this is completely creating a DOM for us. DOM is nothing but document object model. Okay, so inside this you can have here nested elements. HTML is a top level element. In that you have a head element. Head element is for metadata, and body is going to be containing actual data in this. Okay, body is going to be containing actual data. So inside this, you write actually, you create various HTML elements. With the help of them, you can render content. Whatever content you want to render, you can be rendering with the help of the, by putting the appropriate elements within the body tag. An element actually has a starting tag and an ending tag. Okay, an element has a starting tag and an ending tag. Elements can be styled. Okay, elements can be, reacting to certain JavaScript functions. They are called as events. With the help of the events, they can respond to JavaScript functions. Okay, to show content, we use the HTML elements, and to beautify them and how to make them looking better, we use the CSS styles. And whenever you want to interact with them, for that purpose, we use JavaScript. There are going to be three parts in this. HTML, with the help of the element, you can just show content. Okay, to make content looking better, we use styles. CSS, that's called as cascading style sheets, we say. With the help of that, we render content. And third thing is what, when you want to interact with the elements or when you want to interact with the content. In such case, you can use here JavaScript. With the help of that, we can actually interact with the web page. Okay, we can be interacting with the web page. Okay, so you have in the HTML page three different things: HTML elements, second thing is CSS, and third thing is going to be here actual content. JavaScript. With the help of JavaScript, you can interact with the HTML page. To interact with HTML page, you are going to use JavaScript. Okay, so here in this case, we created a sample document called as first.html. All HTML files must end with the .html. Okay, .html. With the help of that, you can create here a web page. This can be getting rendered within the browser. Very first thing in this case is title. You need to go here with a title tag. So in the title tag, we need to put it as my first page. Some title you need to put. Whenever you put a title, the bots, okay, so they can easily, mark in the search engine database, this particular page. So later on, when somebody is searching for content which is available in your page, it can be easily found. For search engine optimization purpose, we have to go with the title tag. So every page must be having a title. With the help of this also, search engines can crawl to your website, and from that it can retrieve information and can actually save in their database. Search engine database. Google, as you know, is a search engine. With the help of that only we are searching so many things. And when you search something, it's not instant. So it has already created database. It is kept somewhere in the Google databases. So just you are accessing that content, and with the help of that, it's getting rendered. Okay, so title is going to be very, very important tag. With help of title, what happens exactly? You can make this optimized for the, SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. In the digital marketing these days, it is used very much. Okay, so this is nothing but here head part. Now let me go with some HTML content. I go with H1. H1 is actually heading 1. So this is what home page I put in this manner something. Okay, now I can render this. To render it, I should go to concern here, document. From there, I should do it. So here I go to Bootstrap examples, and in this this is what first I can render here. This one, okay. So in the grid examples, I think I kept it. So here it is getting rendered with this. That means it has a predefined style. Every HTML element has a predefined style with the browser. In the Mozilla Firefox, it may be different. Let us open in the Mozilla Firefox and see how it renders in that. Okay, do I have Mozilla in this? I don't have, so I can go with the Edge. I just want to paste this here, the page. Slightly, it may be different. When you take here, slightly, it may be different here. If you go with this, it is looking bold. It's looking actually a little bit, size is different, I think. So depending on the browser, actually, the styles change. Okay, so this is called as here default style. When you don't put any style, automatically default style gets applied. So whenever we talk about CSS, you can put comments in this manner, the HTML. Okay, you can put comments like this, HTML. Okay, I was talking about actually styles. The styles are, we call it as CSS cascading styles. So very first thing is we have here like it is default, then inline, Okay, inline, then we have internal, then we have external. You can style elements either inline or internal or external. When you don't supply any style, automatically they take the default style. So default styles are designed for every element by the, in the browser environment, it's available automatically. So that automatically gets applied. If you want to change style you can change either inline or internal or external. Now come to this, I want to change for this H1 some style. I want to go with here red color. So using style attribute. So here H1 is what? H1 is nothing but it is element. You have here starting tag and you have here closing tag. So starting and closing tags together called as element. So we can call this as actually element here. Okay, so here in this case, style equal to, I write color. It's a, one of the, say, styles in the CSS, color followed by, I want to put this as brown here. Similarly, so here I have set this as actually brown color. Now when you render it, color is going to be changing for this. Color is going to be changing in this case. So this is called as here inline style. It is useful only for a particular element. Only with this element it's available. So this is called as here inline style. When you render here, now the color will change. Color is getting changed for this. Okay, color is getting changed. Similarly, I want to go for here text alignment. Text align. Here I want to make this as center. So this goes to the center of the page. Now it is coming in the center. Or else if you want to go to the right side, you can go to the right side. In the extreme right, it will be getting displayed for us. Okay, it goes to the right side. In the right side, it's getting displayed. So like this, you have actually, styles. This is called an inline style. Using style attribute, you can specify, you can set different properties for the styles in this case. One property can be color property, other property can be text align property. So like this, for the style, you can set in this manner. So this is the inline style. We call this as here inline style. Now I want to go with internal style. Internal style I can define within the header part. Along with the element, when you define a style, it's called as inline style. Now to define styles, I use this mechanism. Style, then here, I want to go with the element-based styling here, H1. Then I want to put here just font size. Okay, I go here with the font size. Font size some like 30 px I take. I want to use 30 px. Now how the style changes here, see. Now it is getting reduced, it's more than that, earlier one. If I go with the 72 px, now it should look much bigger. Okay, I've gone with the 72 px, so it is going to look much bigger. So this is what exactly with the font. This is called as here internal style. In the same document I defined. Here we have the style, color, text align right here, and H1 font size 72 we have here. Okay, so this I am not defining in the H1. So it is applying inline style and this is not getting altered. Suppose I put here the font size. What happens? See here. If I go with the font size and if I put here some 60, in such cases, it will be getting rendered with the 60 font size, not with the 72 font size. Reason, inline style has higher precedence over the internal style. It is internal style and this is inline style. So inline style is going to be having higher precedence over the internal style. So therefore what happens, instead of showing with the 72 px, it's going to be showing with the 60 px. Now it is looking much bigger. I want to make it, when I go with this, okay, so I've gone with the font, yes, I haven't applied this. Now, yeah, let me render this. In this case, it's getting decreased. That means what? inline style is having much higher precedence over the internal style. Internal style is how much? 72px. Okay, it's having here 72px. But when I remove this here, suppose I remove here this style. So in that case, it is going to be working with the internal style. Now there is no inline style. It is going to be going with the internal style now here. So render this. Now it can change. No alignment, nothing here. It is getting rendered with the 72px and getting straight away aligned with the left side. Default alignment is actually what? Left. Default alignment is left for the text. Similarly, the font size also you have, but we have overridden the font size here. We are making it as 72px, 72 pixels we made. When inline style is available, it applies inline styles. When inline style is not available, it looks for the internal style. When it is not available, it looks for the external style. When that is not available, it's going to be going with the default style. So precedence is going to be inline style, then internal style, then you have external style. Let us create here some external style as well. Okay, go to this, then create here. Okay, first.css. I would like to create here a CSS file. Okay, so in this, I want to go with the H1. Okay, this is H1, and here I go with the light color. I would like to go with the color followed by here green. Green color I am applying in this case. Now I want to refer that particular style. So style is in a different file. I need to refer from here. So for that purpose, I have to go with the link. So here I can go with link attribute, link element. Then here rel equal to style sheet. Followed by here href equal to, I want to write this as / followed by first.css. It is referring that particular style sheet now. Then I can close this. Now what will happen in this case? If you look at the first.css, color must be green. Okay, and here there is no inline CSS. We have external CSS as well as inline CSS. Sorry, internal CSS. So internal CSS font size is 72px. In the external style, the color is green. And as far as inline style is concerned, there is nothing available. What happens now? See. Okay, so when you go with this, it is applying green color, but font size is going to be how much here? 72 for us. Now let me here go with again. I do Control V. Then I want to remove, in this case, this color I want to remove here. Only I want to change the styles here. Text align right, font size also I want to remove here. Okay, I can go with the text transform. Followed by here, uppercase. Automatically, everything can be getting converted to uppercase. Now here, render this. What is happening in this case? It's getting converted to uppercase. Okay, so in this way, what we do, we are trying to create some HTML page. Okay, so this is using doc type declaration here, HTML page, then HTML starting tag, then closing tag. Then you have a head here. In the head, you define metadata. Okay, so we define here styles. If you want to go with the inline style, we define inline style. Similarly, if you want to refer any external style sheet, you can refer like this. Okay, then in the body part, whatever content you are trying to show, you are showing. So like this is working for us. Okay, so this is working in this manner. Here we create HTML pages, we write some JavaScript as well. And now, let me put here, when I click on this particular thing, some message should be displayed. So therefore, I can go here with one event called onClick. OnClick equal to, I have to call some function here. So I define JavaScript function. In that, I'm going to say, welcome to JavaScript. OnClick equal to show MSG. Like this, I define a function, I'm going to call that particular thing. So styles we define with the style element. Then if you want to define any JavaScript, you need to go with the script here. Script. Then inside this, I want to define a function called show message function. Then this is here show msg. Then here inside this, I can go with the alert followed by welcome to JavaScript. Okay. When I click on the text here, in that case, this must be displaying some message for us. What it's saying here, welcome to JavaScript. When I clicked on that, it's showing here, welcome to JavaScript. So this is basically like creating HTML document with certain style, then similarly with the JavaScript. Anyone has any questions related to this?
Hi. Hi all. Thank you, Sridhar, for the session. Okay, so let me just share my screen again. So as I was mentioning at the beginning, so we have these 14 videos under the UI, which we have it as a user interface, and that all those videos which we have, so you can just try to go through this, and you will be getting good amount of knowledge with this, and being the because this is a very first session we have, so we would just like to stop it here at this point in time today, and then we will continue with this tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you get a chance, okay, so I will strongly encourage you to go through this. At least go practicing, it will come on during the practice sessions, but at least you go through go through those videos so that you can get a good, decent knowledge and decent idea about this content. Okay, so and please let me know if you have any questions. And moreover, this particular session will be saved to YouTube, and you will be getting this particular session also. We will be sharing with you the link. And today, just because the beginning session, and we just want to bring everyone onto the same page, we're restricting it to about 1 hour. But I think tomorrow onwards, as the topics will start, it will be a little bit uh, more time. Okay, as it goes along with the topics, we are going to bring it to a like more content will be covered during the sessions. Please, you can reach out to me individually, or like you can directly message me. Okay, whenever you have a if you have any doubt, okay, you can always message me, and we are always reachable. Okay, thank you all. If you do not have any other questions, we can just call it a wrap. Okay. Thank you. See you tomorrow.